Thank you, Madam President. This is just a continued assault on companies that are capitalistic and make money. How many of you have dialysis clinics in your communities, especially in some of your rural communities? Well, it commonly takes some of the dialysis clinics in the more urban areas to carry the cost of dialysis in the more rural areas because, frankly, there's not enough people that need dialysis in rural areas to justify the investment of millions of dollars to not only build out these facilities, but to staff them. AB290 will harm low-income dialysis patients. Supporters dispute that, but nothing in this bill takes patients out of harm's way. As bad, this bill also is a rate-setting bill. Why not let companies compete? If passed, AB 290 negates privately negotiated contracts, and that's probably why the California Association of California Dialysis Council is opposed, Alameda Contra Costa Medical Association is opposed, California Hospital Association is opposed, California Medical Association is opposed. A very important organization in my district, the Desert AIDS Project, is opposed. For certain dialysis patients, it's set into stone that the Medicare rate as the reimbursement rate. The Medicare rate, just so you know, often doesn't even cover the entire cost of giving a dialysis treatment to a beneficiary. This is a problem for dialysis patients in California, with a growth rate over the next 10 years is 5%. If we're going to put the clamps on the ability of dialysis centers to cover the costs, and yes, I know it's a bad word around here, make a profit, then you're just not going to see the growth of dialysis centers in the state of California, especially in the rural areas where, frankly, I have a lot of poverty. And we've all seen with our childhood obesity problem, our growth in type 1 diabetes, probably one of the #1 causes of kidney failure or kidneys that are beginning to fail is type 2 diabetes. So we're seeing a growth in the need, and yet we want to put a cap on the growth of dialysis centers because we're not allowing them to recoup their costs. And my friends, if they're not allowed to recoup their costs, they're not going to build these centers. And I'm concerned that that's going to reduce the accessibility of new dialysis patients that need a place to go, where they have to sometimes go 4 times a week and sit for hours on end. And I don't know if you ever witnessed a dialysis patient after they've gone through the treatment, but they're extremely exhausted, takes them hours to recover, but if they don't do dialysis, they lose their lives. So my friends, by supporting AB 290, patients are going to lose, taxpayers are going to lose, and certainly so many people that we saw during the Health Committee from all walks of life that claim that we would be taking away this vital service to them could be put in harm's way. Let's make sure that we have a good dialysis infrastructure in the state of California. We've seen a lot of attacks on dialysis centers, a lot of which has come from labor. Again, you know, we ought to have what's called a labor caucus here in the state Senate, a labor caucus. And so when we have these bills that are shoved down our throats by labor, at least we can point to an organization that is telling us what we should do. And we've seen this time and time again here in the state legislature this year. So who are you going to support? Are you going to support the labor unions on this one, or are you going to support for patients that need dialysis, especially poor patients? Your vote on AB 290 will certainly dictate that. I know how I'm voting. I'm voting no on AB 290.